Good morning. We're going to do some more work with GitHub today. Today we're going to be looking at how we can use GitHub on a Windows box, making sure we know how we can actually create a repository and work with it and go from there, because I haven't used a Windows box in quite a while and I want to make sure I have a refresher video on how to do some of the basic work we're doing when we're talking about how to do projects with GitHub. So the first thing we're going to do is we've got GitHub up and running on my machine. As you can see right here, it has this, I just barely reinstalled it. And so I have this cute little plus button with a circle flying over it because it's, hey, this is how I add stuff to it. It's kind of important. It wants to drag your information right there. And so that's how we're going to add all our repositories. We also have over here, we have our options command. This is how we get all access to the information that we'll be working with. And so I can do all my settings information. This is the first place you'd want to do. You want to make sure you log into your GitHub account so you can get access to it, so you can have information right there. You can change your settings on it if you want to have a light setting or a dark setting. I myself keep with dark because I like the dark background, but that's me. And you can get your clone path set up. Make sure this is separate from where your repositories. Make sure this is separate from wherever you store all of your default code, because you want to make sure you can pass that to and have a backup space on your machine different from that. So just keep that available for what you're looking for. What shell you want to use for using any shell commands you're working with. The default here is PowerShell, makes everything really nice and easy, and then you just hit save to go on. Okay. So that's the basic on the Windows side. Let's go ahead and let's bring a repository in that we've already had working on. Actually, scratch that. Let's start off by creating a repository for some code that already exists on this machine right here on this window box. Say, for example, I worked on a project at home and I want to be able to take it to school. So that's where we're going to go. So the first thing we do is, of course, I'm going to click on this lovely plus sign right here. I'm going to create a repository. As you can see, I have add, create, and clone. So we've got this little demo project. I made this amazing project right here. So if we go ahead and take a look at this, this is just a great project. So it has a controller package in it. And in the controller package, I have controller.java and runner.java. And you can see how amazing this is if we go ahead and take a look at that right here. Runner.java, it just has a standard runner approach. And if I open up my controller.java, all it has is just a JOption pane just showing it's a quick little demo. I made this quick project just for you so we can show how to do this. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to create the new repo for this in GitHub. We have the local path right here. And again, the local path for that is going to be the folder that holds the project, not the project itself, one that holds the project. The name is the name of the project. And so I named my project, again, it was the amazing project of demo project. So we're going to call it demo project right here. And we're going to go ahead and choose the option to create a repository. My git ignore, I leave it as none because I like to customize that, like you know, so I can make sure it has what I need for that. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on create repository right here. And my repository is now available right here, so we're going to go ahead and click on that. And we have right here, we have inside here. Inside that, I've got my two changes right here, and I've got my controller.java and my runner.java. You can see that I've got the commits right here. We can actually see the file listed. Okay, and so we have our controller and our runner.java. You can see we've got that right there. And we're going to go ahead and just give a quick commit message. Again, you always want to give a message that explains what's happening for this. So the first line right here, we'll just go ahead and say created project. And we always want to use a full sentence for a definition of our commits messages because we want to make sure we can come back to it and know what we're working on. We then click commit to master. And we can see that change right here in the button. We have that cute little button right here. So we have our added git attributes. And we'll do bin slash and then .ds underscore store for when we're using Windows box or Mac box machines, and *class. So we want to make sure we exclude the bin directory. We want to exclude the .ds store. I have that git ignore I want to add to that. So added git ignore. And I go ahead and hit commit to master right there. And I'm able to publish this right here in the top right, just like we saw on there. So I have my demo project. I'm going to call this demo project Windows, just in case I have one on there on my GitHub archive already. I'm putting it into my thing right here. I do want this to be a private repository because I don't want anyone to ever see this. And I'll go ahead and choose Publish Demo Project Windows. Okay, so my project is now published. I can go ahead and take a look to see that it's up on the server. It's right there. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go back over to this screen. I want to choose to clone a repository. And because I'm signed into GitHub, I can go ahead and I can get into anything that's inside my repository. And I'm going to go ahead and filter repositories, and we'll go ahead, and there's an About Henriksen repository. We'll grab that. I'm going to clone that down right here so I can bring that project to this machine. And where do I want to put that? I want to go ahead and put that inside that Documents GitHub folder right there as well. And I'll say OK, so it's going to clone that project to that. As you can see right here, we're cloning the About Hendrickson project, so I have access to it now on this machine. And as you can see, this was an Android project that I was working with. So I've got this lovely project right here. And I've got all this stuff right here, so I've got that project done. Now I can go ahead and I can open up the files on this machine and then bring them back up to the server. That's what we wanted to see if we could do. So now that I've got that project from work, I'm going to go ahead and go over here. Now, normally you'd be opening that stuff in your editor, but since I'm on a machine that's not mine, I don't have my editor settings installed that I can actually open up my code and work on it in here, so I'm just going to open up with it here inside Notepad. But you'd open this inside Eclipse or Android Studio or Xcode, whatever tool you're using to write your code. And I don't want this to find text files, I want this to find all files. So inside right here, I have about me activity.java. So I've got that code right here. And as you can see, I've got this lovely bit of code. I'm going to go ahead and add a private string right here that I can add to that without hurting anything. So I'm going to add a private string, demo string. And I'm going to go over here, and after I initialize all my values inside that lovely method, I'm going to go ahead and say demo string equals quotes and a semicolon and Java rocks. Okay, so I've added a code right here in my about me file. I added that demo string Java rocks. I'll hit save, and that change right here is now going to show up over here in my changes thing. So I can see that there was a change made to my about me.java file, and you can see it here highlighted in green because when we're working with GitHub, it shows what that change is right there. And so I have that demo string that's up there, so I can see that's been a positive change. And so I've added that line of code. And so I'm just going to have a quick little message for this. And added demo string to file. And I commit to master. And because that project has already been published, I don't have to republish it. All I have to do is hit sync, and then it'll make my code be available right there. So now, that, again, it's up on the internet. We have the cute little progress bar going up right here, so we can see that's happening. So we've got everything up and running. That's now synced up to the internet, and now that file has that additional string added to it. And so whenever I access that again, like say for example I go to school and grab that file, I can get it from there as well. And so that is a quick little basic on how to use GitHub on a Windows box. It's not much different from working with a Mac box or a Linux box. It just looks a little bit different as we go through that though. So you can see that's now synced, it's up to date, we're ready to go, and we have that now with that change screen right now, we're back up on regular screen. So that's how we can go ahead and use that. If you want to do some more advanced features on that, like doing the merges and stuff like that, if I want to change branches, I have the master branch, I can choose a different branch right here, or I can make a fork. I can branch off of this by clicking the branch button, and then I can split and merge the branch and then do the same process of merging a branch, which you can watch again on how to do that on some of my other videos. The same process applies. Instead of going up to the command line or the command window you have on the Mac up here on the top of the screen, it all happens with this section over here and just in the actual application window area. So again, that's just some of the basics of how you can use GitHub with a Windows box. I hope this has been helpful. Thanks again and have a great day.